What's going on? What are you?
I think we finally have the successor to the Chucky anthropomorphic dynasty, and this has definitely got to be M3GAN. Let's review M3GAN, the brand new horror film from blumhouse Productions. And if you like the content, guys, like, share and subscribe. M3GAN follows Katie, who loses both her parents in an accident and is forced to come live with her aunt Gemma. Is it Gemma? The accident makes Gemma an unwilling aunt who has to take care of a grieving niece. Gemma also happens to be a brilliant roboticist who works for a toy manufacturer that makes over-the-shelf play dolls. But Gemma longs to make the next evolution in toys for kids, so Katie, needing someone to care for her, leads Gemma to create M3GAN as a temporary caregiver. First of all, can we just appreciate Blumhouse's new startup animation? It is so clean and chock full of Easter eggs. Now, when it comes to horror films, I tend to relax when I see these three people: A24, IFC Midnight, or of course Blumhouse Production. I think Blumhouse has gone a bit mainstream and some of their recent horror movies have been a hit or miss, but Blumhouse brought out awesome horror films like Insidious, Sinister, Creep, and of course M3GAN. There has always been a select few good doll horror movies. We have The Boy by William Brent, which we didn't need a sequel 4 years later. We also had Annabelle Creation in the James Wan verse of movies, which I really didn't have high hopes for, but I enjoyed. The reason these movies have really not been a Chucky successor is they have all been psychological horrors. We've been missing a pure slasher horror to give Child's Play a run for its money, and M3GAN absolutely killed it. Every good horror movie or every good doll horror movie needs a wide-eyed innocent child. Ballet McGraw. She does really well and she's as convincing as can be in a relationship with M3GAN, which is very genuine and organic. Another key component is an irresponsible adult who gets either a doll from a homeless man, in Chucky's case, or brings home an untested piece of technology to her niece. And Allison Williams also does really well. I really liked her in Get Out and she was really good in M3GAN. Now, my biggest fear with movies like M3GAN is they rely on cutaway horror a lot to convey fear, due to the fact the technology of a doll attacking is either unavailable or too expensive, but M3GAN makes the doll as front and center as possible. I'm also happy there wasn't a lot of exposition in explaining the tech. A lot of movies like this can use a chunk of the movie explaining some fake technology that is not rooted in any scientific proof. It reminds me of The Invisible Man. We don't need to know too much about the tech behind the suit. He uses camera, boom, that's all you need to know. There is something therapeutic of the jostling sounds that come from the turning of her gears in M3GAN, and I am a fan of movement being as robotic as possible. I was scared when M3GAN was announced and if they would try to make her look too lifelike. They struck a perfect balance. Her design looks really good to pass as a doll, but creepy enough to not pass as a human. And I have a weakness in movies when I see a person on all fours. I also loved the movie's approach to AI. One of the issues I have with movies that are about artificial intelligence, it always comes down to the same thing. Don't allow it to collect to the internet. Once it downloads on the information, it will want to enslave the human race. M3GAN ignores this and focuses on its primary objective as literally a primary caregiver. Even with gaining all the information from the internet and practically updating her own code, there wasn't some far reach by M3GAN claiming, I have to kill the human race for Katie to be safe. Now, a little tidbit I liked in M3GAN is a character that was explored in the beginning of the film still came back later on in a really meaningful moment. I won't spoil it. I really enjoyed M3GAN because it's just a pure slasher at its finest. I do think there could have been a whole lot more slashing, but it's just enough to get the job done. M3GAN is a thrilling ride And since Chucky has refused to claim his throne, although on a side note, I really did like the 2019 movie and the series wasn't bad. I think we can say we have a new queen and her name is M3GAN. So let's hope M3GAN 2.0 is going to be made, because this looks like the start of a beautiful franchise that will probably get ruined in part 4. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you like the content, please hit the subscribe button. Take care.
What are you?
I'm M3GAN.
Baby, don't provoke us or we will.